The following is the agenda for the regular Borough Council meeting of the Borough of Pompton Lakes, Mayor and Council Municipal Corporation in the County of Essex. The meeting will begin at 7:30 on December 10th, 2025 in the Municipal Building, 25 Lenox Avenue, Pompton Lakes. Consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act, the meeting will be open for public comments and shall be in accordance with terms and conditions of the Borough's Municipal Code and bylaws.
Please stand for a flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a moment of silence for the passing of Carl Padula? He was a past councilman and a member of our Board of Ed for many years. Thank you. In conformance with the Open Public Meeting Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this regular meeting through minutes posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, mailed to all requested and paid for same, and published in the Suburban Trends. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sarah.
Here.
Council President Calderon.
Here.
Councilman King.
Here.
Councilman
Hinton, here.
Councilwoman Kent.
Here.
Councilman Quinn.
Here.
And Councilman Bennett is going to be late.
He'll be late, yes. Go on.
With us is our Borough Attorney David Wheatler and our Borough Administrator Michael Terrell.
Okay, thank you. Before we start our meeting, we have a couple proclamations I'd like to recognize. We have some recognitions of some council people that will be stepping down in the new year, starting off with Councilwoman Jennifer Polidori has served on the council since 2020, re-elected in 2023. She has had roles included service as council president. Throughout her term, she has been an active liaison to numerous boards and commissions and have contributed to public works, finance, open space, parks, and playgrounds. She was involved in open space improvements, helping bring renovations and all-inclusive playground equipment to Lakeside and Hirschfield Park. She has also continued with the VFW to establish the Veterans Flag display. In addition to her official duties, Councilwoman Polidori is a member of the First Aid Squad, Elks, Rotary, Women's Club, and serves on the Communities for Toys for Tots program. So with that, we'd like to honor her with a plaque. The plaque reads, Borough of Pompton Lakes, presented to Jennifer Polidori, Councilwoman January 2020 through December 2025, in recognition of your dedicated service and leadership to the Borough of Pompton Lakes. I'm going to do the recognitions and then I'll let you guys say something if you want to say something. Our second one is Councilman Patrick Quinn was appointed in 2025 to fill the unexpired term following the resignation of former Councilwoman Lisa Kilberg. Since assuming office, Councilman Quinn has taken on an active role in municipal government, working alongside council residents and borough staff. Councilman Quinn served as liaison to Recreation, the Library, Municipal Court, the Environmental Protection Committee, Public Safety, and the Flood Advisory Board. In addition, he served on the Finance Committee, where he played a role in reviewing municipal spending, signing off on vouchers, and helping ensure transparency, accountability, and compliance with state laws. Councilman Quinn has provided reliable leadership during a period of transition. So with that, I also have a plaque for him. Let me read the plaque first. Borough of Pompton Lakes presented to Patrick Quinn, Councilman, May 2025 through December 2025, in recognition of your dedicated service and leadership to the Borough of Pompton Lakes. All right, so if you guys want to say some, I'll let Councilwoman Polidori go first.
This says 2020. It was 2018.
Check that.
But thank you. This is lovely. I don't think I can take much credit for anything other than thanking the residents for allowing me the opportunity to serve on all of those boards and committees and to do as much as I was able to do in the 7 years that I was up here. I will leave here knowing that in my time here, I did some really good work for the right reasons, and I was only able to do that because of the confidence that the voters put in and trust into me to allow me to have this leadership role in a town I grew up in and chose to stay in with my family. So it has certainly been an honor and a privilege, and I thank you all.
That's good. You like to say something?
Yeah, I'll just keep it very simple. I just want to say it was a distinct honor to serve the people of Pompton Lakes. Thank you to all the staff in the administration office here. They were always very helpful. And thank you to my fellow council people and the mayor. And best of luck to everybody in the future.
Thank you. Right now, we have a proclamation, and I'm going to ask all the DPW members to come up forward, if you'd like. You don't have to. So we got one of the best DPW departments around. I can tell you, my residents tell me all the time, those guys are great. I never have a problem with them. They pick up when I put out. I call them, they take care of it.
If that's your plan.
Everybody's gonna make some complaint somewhere along the line. My garbage top flew down the street, my garbage cans leaning to the left, leaning to the right. But most of the day, I do a lot of my judgment by how many calls I get and complaints. And I don't get a lot of calls and complaints on the DPW right now, so that's all thanks to you guys. So with that, I have a little proclamation I'd like to read.
She filled in for Christopher.
Whereas first responders, including public works, firefighters, police, emergency medical technicians, and other emergency personnel, stand on the front lines of our community. Whereas first responders respond swiftly and courageously to emergencies, often putting their own lives at risk to ensure the safety and well-being of others. Whereas in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the borough, Pompton Lakes to keep knowledge of and maintain ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of our public works and other first responders' efforts in their respective communities. As of 2019, the United States Senate has included language recognizing our public works as first responders. That's a big improvement, and thank you guys, because you are our first responders. When we have emergencies and floods and those kind of things, these are the guys that get out there first and help us out. Now there be resolved that the mayor and the Borough Council of the Borough of Pompton Lakes do hereby recognize October 28th as National First Responders Day. Now therefore, I, Michael Serra, Mayor of the Borough of Pompton Lakes, do hereby acknowledge the Public Works first responders for their service to the Borough of Pompton Lakes. I do hereby declare October 28th, 2025 as Public Works First Responder Day in the Borough of Pompton Lakes. Thank you, guys. As we all know, all our first responders are very important in our town when it comes to an emergency. And recognizing the DPW in that group of people is something that's long deserved and long overdue. Because when I was going to say it, not a right word, but when something hits the fan, these are the groups of people we want in front of us to help us. So thank you all for what you did. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
So moved.
Councilman Cruz?
Second.
Councilman Hinton? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Please try to keep it to 5 minutes. Please step up. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, here you go.
Just go there.
No, go ahead, sure, go.
I'm not sure.
No, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Name and address?
Yeah, please. If you
Ken
don't mind.
Horner, 94 Mountainside.
I'm sorry, first name?
Ken, K-E-N. Lisa Kilberg's former neighbor.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to confirm, hopefully for the record, that the next meeting, that the Highlands could be put on the agenda to discuss the Kelly rebate monies from 22, 23, and 24 that were submitted back in November. Originally, I thought that would have been on the discussion for November or tonight's meeting. However, I was told otherwise, that it's been pushed off till January. So it's a large amount of monies documentation that we submitted to get reimbursed. And I just want to make sure that will be on the agenda come January's meeting.
Okay, I'll answer everybody at the end, but I'll answer you.
Okay, appreciate it, that's it.
Thank you.
Nothing more, thank you.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Elaine Zablocki. For 8 months, I've addressed the council with many questions about the police department, starting with former Police Chief Clark's decision to add another captain's position, to his awarding special privileges to Lieutenant Rodriguez, to the exclusion of Captain Session, like access to building security cameras, assignment of overtime, and extensive internal affair complaints involving Captain Session and investigated by Lieutenant Rodriguez. You have never responded to me. At the public hearing on October 31st, we learned that Captain Session's 180-day suspension has ended. The Civil Service Commission's standard decision is to restore pay. Has the town restored Captain Session to a paid status? Does Captain Session have this information, including when his salary will be restored, and a reason why or why not, as required by statute? Are you going to approve more money tonight for the special police labor attorney, while punishing a well-respected captain in pay, health benefits, pension, for being a whistleblower? For 10 months of 2025, if you want to update that spreadsheet I gave you in September, you've spent over $66,000 on this firm. I've questioned the council's attempts for waivers for Officer Rodriguez and Lieutenant Cafati to eliminate fair competition in the department. The town answered at Oprah with, "There are no responsive documents." And yet the Civil Service Commission provided us with extensive email traffic with Michael Corelli. You have never responded. I even gave you a 4-page memo at the September meeting with questions and a spreadsheet for easy reference. No response. My comments are the Cliff Notes version of the email sent to all of you on November 2nd from Alexis Moore. I'm curious, how did you respond to that detailed, meticulously researched memo about financial discrepancies within the police department for years and the lack of oversight of the payroll system? Anyone check her math? Verify her references to meeting minutes, Oprah responses, collective bargaining agreements? She even gave you a diplomatic way to respond. Quote, "Is there something completely legitimate that the public is unaware of but can learn more about to better understand?" Not even handing you a professional way out of this mess is enough to alleviate your arrogance. But on November 5th, my daughter and I get a threatening, intimidated letter from your officer in charge of the Pompton Lakes Police Department, and the threatening the public from an officer named in 2 ongoing lawsuits against the town for threatening, intimidating, and bullying behavior is okay with you? Breathtakingly stupid. More stupidity. The email was sent to me and copied to my daughter to make sure I knew my daughter was being threatened too. But I never got it because it was sent to an email address that I assume was found online, a Gmail address for Pompton Democrats. No idea who created it, and no idea if it's actively in use. Ask Officer Rodriguez. I have never referred to any political affiliation when I've addressed the council, not mine or anyone else's. This isn't about politics. It's about corruption. I remember Miss Kent clutching her pearls when I mentioned corruption a few meetings ago, and I get it. Corruption is an ugly word, because corruption is ugly. But threatening the public is okay with you? The opening line, quote, "Please note that we have been monitoring this matter for our client for some time now." The closing line, quote, "If you fail to forthwith heed what we demand of the both of you herein, we will proceed with the filing of suit with no further notice to you." I think I understand why Officer Rodriguez would like me to stop talking. I have more questions about issues that haven't been mentioned in public yet, but they will be. I am outraged that the public is being ordered to stop speaking. I am outraged that the order is coming from the officer in charge of the Pompton Lakes Police Department. And I am outraged that the mayor and council, through your silence, have given tacit approval to threats, intimidation, and the violation of the public's First Amendment rights. You are all complicit in this.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public would like to address?
Good evening. George Popov, 1104 Colfax Avenue, but I know you've heard enough of that. I had a very productive meeting with Mike Corelli yesterday as far as the damage done to my property and the potential results on how they can be fixed and taken care of. I hope that I can come back here in January and say that things are progressing the way Mike has said to me they should. That's on the 14th of January. If not, we'll get another update, and I'll keep coming until this problem is fixed. 16 years I waited. I think it should get finally fixed. Mike, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public like to address?
It's funny. Intimidation over free speech. Again, seems like we have a theme in this town. Have fun.
Anyone else from the public like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Councilman Quinn? Second. Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? The Highlands, Mike, I'm going to let you address that a little bit.
Thank you, Mayor. Our office is working on a backlog of what's called Municipal Services Act reimbursements dating back to 2022. So for those of you that don't know, all of our private condominium associations, in accordance with state statute, are eligible for reimbursement of snow, lighting, and garbage and recycling expenses should the community not receive those same services directly from the borough. Some of those communities get garbage collection, some don't. Some get no services from us. So all of the reimbursements are calculated differently based on the level of service that they receive from us. Two of our highest reimbursements, of course, given the size of the communities, is Summit Falls and Highlands. So we are working through the backlog and are looking to add some of those reimbursements to the January agenda and get through those, through the winter. But we are prioritizing the Highlands because they have submitted all of the documentation that we have required of them, while the others still have not. So
we're hoping in January?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is that by choice of the Highlands that they do that, get private, or is it by choice of the borough? That the borough doesn't have the manpower to, say, pick up garbage or to plow the roads? Whose choice is that?
Kelly law.
I would
It's their
defer
choice.
to
It's
the
their
borough
choice.
attorney on that.
It's their choice, what services they accept and which services they pay privately for.
So condos can say, we can't do it, or we will pay someone out, or we want the town to pick it up and we want you guys.
So it's their choice, it's not our choice?
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, if they choose to have a plow service that would be more expensive than we could do it for?
I don't know.
Does anybody analyze that?
No, so they submit all of their respective invoices, and basically the reimbursements are calculated in a way that we pay them what it would have cost us. So there is no
Oh, okay.
additional so-called expense incurred on our part. You know, whether or not we do it or reimburse, it would cost the same, and that's how the calculations are based on.
All right, so calculations are what it would cost us to do the job as opposed to what they're paying for a service.
Right, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any premium they would pay out of their own pockets.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Sabaki, I've told you numerous times, this is a legal matter. No one up here can discuss it because it's a legal matter. When it's opened and finished, then we will be able to discuss it. The town has not filed any charges against you or your daughter, so we have no say on that. If a personal attorney has filed charges, we know nothing about that. It has nothing to do with the town. That's two individuals having a conflict that has to be resolved. It has nothing to do with this council or our town. Mr. Popoff, I'm happy you had a good meeting. I'm hoping to get the same, I know what the meeting was about, and I'm hoping to get something out of that, and that makes everybody happy. I understand that we are putting, or very soonly, putting in the pipe and filling it in, so that would close that session off. Now we just have to worry about your property. No one is denying there was damage to your property. We just have to figure out the best solution for that.
Communicated as far as this filling of the pipe. My neighbor knows nothing about it, and I knew nothing about it.
Okay, well, that would be with the engineers, but I'll let that go. And the last person who spoke, thank you for your comments. Okay. Motion to approve the following minutes. Regular meeting minutes, November 12th, 2025. Closed session meeting, November 12th, 2025. Can I have a motion?
Moved.
Who's that?
That was me.
Councilman Cruz?
Second.
Councilwoman Kent, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Authorize the bills and claims as listed below. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilman Hinton? Second. Councilman Quinn, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Resolutions, anybody need anything pulled out? Nope.
Yeah, I'm curious about Resolution 25-395. I just want a little bit of an explanation on that,
Okay.
more than I've read.
Anybody else? Okay, Liz, when you're ready.
Whereas the mayor and the borough council of the borough of Pompton Lakes have reviewed the consent agenda consisting on various proposed resolutions, whereas the mayor and borough council of the borough of Pompton Lakes does desire to remove resolutions for individual action from that agenda, now therefore be it resolved that the following resolutions on the consent agenda are hereby approved. Resolution 25-386 through 25-418, and we're going to remove 25-300.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Motion?
Councilwoman Kent?
Second.
Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Ordinance 25-395.
Resolution opposing New Jersey legislation bill S-4736.
Okay, who wants to take that one? Anybody?
I mean, just as an introduction, this is a Senate bill that is pending with the legislature. It's S-4736. It has to do with nonprofits and religious groups and affordable housing matters. So I'll let Dave give a synopsis.
Yeah, the concern here is that it takes the authority of the planning boards away, and so it kind of short circuits the planning process that communities put in place to make sure that properties are developed in accordance with the borough master plan and the like. And so the League of Municipalities this is from the League, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the League of Municipalities has taken a position opposing it because it's just poor planning. Their heart may be in the right place. The movers' heart may be in the right place, but short-circuiting good planning is not the way to address these concerns. And so the League has asked municipalities to consider adopting this resolution that would oppose that proposed legislation. It's not legislation that's been approved yet. It's still bouncing around down in Trenton, but they think it's important. And our firm being counsel to several planning boards and involved in several municipalities, I tend to agree with them that this is something that should be opposed. There's a lot of effort and a lot of thought that goes into planning, and so why just push that aside?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Just quickly.
Sure.
So what is the reason then? What is the backstory behind them coming out now with this new bill seeking vote? Is there something that triggered Obviously, our legislators to get together on
I'm
this?
I'm not aware of what triggered it, maybe.
Yeah, sometimes the league sits down and has a concern about something that's been brought to them, and then they discuss it and then present a resolution that circulates through all the towns. And I don't know, is that what happened, Mike?
Right, so the league has a legislative committee. I believe Councilman Venom sits on that
He is on
committee.
it.
It's, a culmination of 200 or so elected officials statewide, and they review all pending legislation and put forth, support and opposition templates to municipalities, and the league publishes those in our bulletins that we put forth to the governing body.
But I think the councilman's question, maybe I got it
was-
wrong.
no.
You're asking, aren't you,
What
what
is
the
the
genesis
reason?
of the
Correct.
proposed legislation is?
Why are they
I
doing
don't-
this in the first place?
I think that, as I said, I think their heart is in the right place. They've probably been asked because, religious organizations and nonprofits are always looking for a way to, increase their funding. And so it may be related to that they see opportunities. Some churches are consolidating with other churches, and those properties are sitting fallow. So they may see an opportunity to, attract developers to do affordable housing, where, it might not otherwise be suitable. So.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion for ordinance 25-395? Motion?
Motion.
Councilman Hinton, second?
Second.
Councilwoman Kent, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay. Ordinance, final adoption.
Ordinance 25-28, an ordinance repealing Chapter 8, Section 845, throwing or depositing litter from vehicles.
Hopefully, nobody's fighting this ordinance, but okay, motion to open the meeting for public comments on ordinance 25-28. Need a motion?
Motion.
Councilman Cruz, Councilman... Is that you down there? Councilman Quinn, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone like to speak just on this ordinance? Seeing no one, motion to close the public session on ordinance 25-28.
Motion.
Councilman Quinn?
Second.
Councilwoman Kent, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve ordinance 25-28 for final adoption. Need a motion.
Motion.
Councilman Cruz?
Second.
Councilman Quinn, roll call, please.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Ordinance 25-29, an ordinance amending Chapter 10 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Pompton Lakes and changing the licensing date for dog and cat licenses and the fee for late filing.
Motion to open the meeting for public comments on ordinance 25-29.
So move.
Councilman Cruz?
Second.
Councilwoman Kent, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone like to address just this ordinance? Seeing no one, motion to close the meeting for public comments on ordinance 25-29.
Motion.
Councilman Hinton,
Second.
Councilman Quinn, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve ordinance 25-29 for final adoption.
Motion.
Councilwoman Kent,
Second.
Councilman Cruz, roll call, please.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent.
Yes.
Councilman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we have one more that's been added on that was a change in our agendas. Title, approving a Chapter 159 resolution providing for the insertion of items of revenue in the 2025 budget for 2025 Passaic County Stigma-Free Grant Program. Can I have a motion?
We included that, didn't we?
I included that.
Yeah, we did include
Oh, I'm
418.
sorry, I didn't.
Yep.
right here.
Yep,
Okay,
it was
thank you.
included.
It's in
You
the,
bet.
we have it? We did it
We
already?
have it. I have it right here.
Yeah, we did it.
We did, okay.
We did it.
Okay.
I heard Liz say,
Okay,
through
thank you.
418.
Sorry.
All right, so we're good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, under my report, as I started the meeting, passing of someone who's very involved in town. And, this is a good example of a person that, for people who don't know, he was the Democratic leader. He ran against me for mayor, but we stayed friends throughout that whole thing. And that's how politics is really supposed to work at the end of the day. Everybody has their own opinion on how things are supposed to happen, but you're working together to make your town a better place. And that's how Carl and I always work together. You know, we bumped heads a lot, and we argued a lot about a lot of things. But at the end of the day, I could go out and have a beer with him and have no issues with him. So he's going to be sorely missed. He was very involved on the Board of Ed. He was a councilman here for many years, and he was always involved, especially on the early years. He was one of the people that makes Pompton Lakes what it is. Just like we have the volunteers now, he was a big volunteer, so he's going to be sorely missed. We do have a menorah lighting at 7 p.m. Thursday, December 18th. It's always a nice event. A bunch of the rabbi will show up with a bunch of goodies to give out to the kids, so it's always a nice event to join. Most of us up here attended the League, which is a conference of all the towns that meets in Atlantic City. It's a very large conference. A couple thousand people show up, where you can take classwork and you can get for people who need points for their educational points, you can do that, and it's a networking place. So you can talk to another town that's maybe the similar size and see how they do things and say, hey, that's a great idea. So it's a very valuable tool for me, at least. I've been doing this a long time, and I always find something new or interesting from somebody I'm talking to. It could be a mayor, it could be a council person who says, this is how we handle that in our town. And that's, to me, the biggest part of what that's about. It's the networking. And, you know, I can tell you, years ago, a bunch of people were concerned about flooding, and Pompton Lakes does such a great job about flooding that we had a caucus together with a lot of these mayors from other areas that met here in Pompton Lakes to discuss how we do things, because they thought we were doing things in a way that they should copy. So that's what the League is about, in my opinion, and there's a lot of good stuff happening with that. I'm sure that Councilman Quinn will talk about this, but this weekend is Breakfast with Santa, 2 seatings. We still have open seating. If you'd like to contact Karen Murphy or go online to register. There's an 8:30 seating and a 10:30 seating. We had the holiday stroll this last weekend, one of my favorite events in town. It went well. I put, again, all volunteers putting that together. The bid was a big part of that. It went off without a hitch. Everything was good. And really, it's the key to what Pompton Lakes is about, in my opinion. Walking down the street, talking to neighbors and people you haven't seen in a long time. Kids get to see Santa Claus. The stores are open, giving out refreshments. Some people some people don't recognize what we have downtown, and they live in this town. They don't know, hey, we got this. Some people don't know we have a hardware store, for example. You know, they'll go to Home Depot and say, hey, I was on the stroll and I saw you have a hardware store. Yeah, we have a hardware store. So, you know, one of the things I said, because we lit the tree and we had a special guest light it, but, you know, we have to all remember at the end of the day, if we want to keep our downtown the way it is, we have to support our downtown, right? This community is the first start in doing your shopping. I understand we have box stores and Home Depots and Targets and all those places. But if you can shop locally, that's the way to go. So it was a nice event, really done well. If you went into any of the restaurants, they were packed with people eating and drinking and having a good time, and that's what the stroll was about. So thank you for everybody who put that together. We do have the Toys for Tots this weekend. I think that's at 1 o'clock, is that correct?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. You can still come with an unwrapped toy to the train station. Santa will be arriving with the Marines. They'll pack up all the train and go on to the next stop. It's another nice event. We always try to, not to brag, be the #1 town with the most toys, so let's get people out there and have the toys. Last night I attended the recreation party that they have, a Christmas party every year, another group that quietly does a lot of things in this town. Again, nobody's paid on that commission. All those events that we have, Easter egg hunt, Breakfast with Santas, all the events they do are all put together by this group. They are looking for some members, so if somebody's interested in joining that group, we'd like to get some younger family members, people with younger children on there, because I'll tell you, again, this is what Pompton Lake's about. The members on that board have been on that board for over 20 years. Their kids are all married with kids by themselves now, so we're looking to get some younger families involved. So if you're interested, contact myself or Karen Murphy. And it's the Christmas season, so I did lots of weddings this month, and I got a couple coming forward. And that is my report. Councilman Cruz.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. I have nothing new to report. Just want to speak to Carl Padula. I'm pretty sure everyone here knew who Carl was. We served on the Board of Education for many years. Just an amazing individual. I think Mayor Sarah described him perfectly. You could agree to disagree with Carl. Carl was just an amazing man, just a great friend, a mentor. Before the start of every Board of Education meeting, I am the liaison, we would talk about his cars, his motorcycles. I mean, it was just ongoing, and I will miss those talks right before the meeting. So to the Padula family, my condolences, and he will be missed. He will definitely be missed. The holiday stroll was fantastic. I think the lighting, Paul Bovey, the distinguished we have here. It was very nice. The weather was great. Temperature held up really well. And it was great seeing a lot of friends and family that I normally don't get a chance to see throughout the year. And with that, happy holidays, everyone, and that'll do it for my report.
Thank you. Councilman Hinton.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. My report is short also. Attended the League of Municipalities, which was a great event. I couldn't attend the MUA meeting, and so I don't have a report on that right now. Went to the holiday stroll, always a good time. But I also have to talk about Carl Padula. I've known him a long time. He was a great guy. Got phone calls from him all the time if I had any tomatoes. So I had to run some tomatoes over to Carl's house. But he did so much for the town. As a Republican leader, he was a Democratic leader. He didn't play no games. He just worked for the town and for all the people in the town. Like I said, politics, he didn't play games with that. He just did for the town. And my condolences to his family, his two sons, and his grandsons, and great-grandson I met today, too. Yeah. So, but other than that, let's see, League Holiday Stroll. Wishing everybody a happy Merry Christmas. And the holiday stroll, I met Santa. Santa was very nice. I asked for a new gun, and he said he would get me one.
Wow, that's a tough Santa right there.
Oh, well, he was a good Santa, But I want to wish everyone a happy holiday and a happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Quinn.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, my deepest sympathies to the Padula family. Carl was a councilman way back in the 1990s and early 2000s when we were started getting involved in open space. Today I posted a picture of the old river cleanup. I think Michael out in there was like maybe 10 years old, and you're not 10 anymore, that's for sure. But he was there, and he actually did clean up the garbage out of the streams, and it was a very fond memory. But he always supported the environmental programs in town. And he came to all the cleanups, and he picked up junk, and he had his grandchildren there when they were old enough to come. He was instrumental in the curbside recycling program. People may not know that, but that was one of Carl's very important programs to the town. He was also a flood advisory member, and he was instrumental in repairing of the old riverbanks over in the Pequannock River. In one blizzard, we had a flood advisory meeting, and we were going to cancel it, and he said, no, we're not. I'm picking you up in the big black truck. So off we went into the big black truck, came to town, had our meeting, and he took us all home, and that's a fact. He also was very involved with the Passaic County SLAP program way back in the day, and he was successful to get all the prisoners because no one else wanted to do it, and he cleaned up all the dead fish in Pompton Lakes, and the prisoners were pretty pissed, and it smelled gross, and it was a gross thing, but he got it done. And his obituary says something like he was a tough and stubborn yet loving old school way, and that's what he was, and I will miss him dearly. I also want to thank Jennifer Polidori for her many years of dedication to the residents of Pompton Lakes. Her visions of upgraded playgrounds with inclusive equipment for special needs children, the one-of-a-kind picture frame that was created by a local artisan, the special fund and enhancements for the dog park in Hirschfield Park, and the veteran flags along Wanacue Avenue. That was her vision to improve our community, and they do. So I want to wish her the best of health in 2026. I also want to thank Patrick for stepping in at a very critical time and taking on the title and operation as councilperson this past spring. And that is not an easy job to do. And filling Councilwoman Lisa's job was tough because I gave her all those hard committees. So I know how hard they were. But you did a very good job, and I want to thank you very much for that. And hopefully you'll come back on some of the committees, because you're a young guy and you still have young folks, so hopefully we'll see you again. I attended the Shade Tree Commission meeting, and they are looking for another commissioner. We had one step down the other night. And the fall plantings will start Friday. So you will see you will see trees being installed this Friday, and it is okay, just so you know, we have a very good rapport with the landscapers, so they should survive as long as we get them some water. So that's something. I was also invited, and Mary didn't mention, but we were invited to the Albanian American Culture Center.
Thank you.
And I sat with the mayor and the Culture Center. They celebrated their Independence Day in Albania, way over there. So, and we had front row seats. We were treated as really royalty, I think. You know, they had their hospitality and their cultural dances were amazing. We have a very large Albanian residential area down in the south end, and it was very nice to see their sense of community, and it was very well attended. And I learned a lot about culture at that event, and I know I do appreciate Mary introduced me to everybody that was there, including sheriff's officers and so on. So we do have a lot of Albanian folks in town, and that was a very nice event. The November Open Space Committee meeting, we reviewed many of the current permits and operations that are now ongoing, including the Willow Field Improvement Project. The Hirschfield Park Bridge is now in demolition replacement mode, and the only thing to say about that is hooray, it's about time. The broken basketball backboard was replaced by Tilcon, and we really do appreciate Tilcon's generosity with the courts and all the assistance that they give us in repairing that area. A photo op will be organized and scheduled for spring for the retired PAL members to memorialize the many years of Rich Fleischer basketball program, and we have the beautiful benches that were purchased by that fund that they donated to the town. So we're going to take pictures with that now. DPW. Our last leaf collection is this Friday. Thursday is the south end for leaves, and Friday is the north end for the borough. After that, all the garbage will be picked up as usual twice a week on the day that is usually picked up, depending on where you're at in town. And all of that information is on the borough calendar. Sometimes I look at these social media sites and they go, do you know when they pick up our, and my answer is look at the calendar. That way you don't take anybody's word for it and you don't mess up.
And it is on our webpage.
And it's on our webpage too. So all of that information is out there, everyone. If you have any if you have any basketball hoops that are along the street, please move them, because the snow plows will collide with them, and they will cause serious damage to the truck and to your basketball equipment. So we want to get rid of them. The Pompton Lakes Women's Club is also participating in the Pompton Lakes Police PBA toy drive. We're looking. That's a wonderful toy drive, and if you can, I think there's a box out there for those toys. I also attended the Atlantic City Convention with the League of Municipalities, and by us attending one particular insurance course, we get a refund of $250 that basically pays for the room, so you kind of sent me for free. That's how I look at it. And I also attended the holiday stroll with Santa coming from the North Pole. I want to thank him very much, and I understand that the firehouse did an amazing job with feeding the reindeer. I also want to thank the DPW workers for assisting both in setup and taking down that evening. The DPW, the street lights and everything at the holiday stroll was really amazing. It gets better and better every year. I don't know how they do that, but they do. And luckily this year, the snow maker actually worked, and there was quite a bit of snow all over that area. And the marshmallows, gave you a really hometown feeling, and I'm very proud to be a part of that. And then my last comment is, I just want to thank the DPW workers for coming here today and accepting that award. They're probably one of the least recognized sometimes for the hard work that they do over every day. Every day is a physical job. They don't always get included in some of the decisions that are made. Sometimes they just get stuck doing the final cleanup of everything, but they are very cheerful. They're a very good crew. We're very blessed to have them. And that is my report.
Thank you, and thank you for reminding me about the Albanian culture, Independence Day. We have a large community, but they're a very involved community in our town. If you haven't seen their culture center, which is down on the Riverdale and Pompton Lakes border, it's a beautiful building with gymnasiums and dance studios and classrooms and meeting rooms. It's a very nice, large building. Enough that we've hired 2 officers that are Albanian that speak out their language, so when we have issues, we can deal with them. So, it's always great when you have outside groups come into your town and become part of the community, and that's what they have become, and that's always a good thing. And that's all I ever ask of any group that comes into our town, is make sure you're part of the community. So I thank them for inviting us, and thank you, Councilwoman, for coming with me. It was a nice event. Councilman Quinn.
Yes, my condolences to the Padula family. I did not know Mr. Padula very well, but he did serve on the Board of Education with my wife, and she was upset when she heard the news, and she always spoke very highly of him. So, again, my condolences. A few announcements. Mayor hit on a couple of them. Letters to Santa here at Borough Hall. If you have them here by the 19th, you will receive a return letter. Tuesday and Thursday, Walking Club, 7 to 8, Lakeside School. Toys for Tots, 1 o'clock Saturday. And Breakfast with Santa this Saturday at the Elks. Please register beforehand.
And there's no, you cannot pay at the door for that event, so you have to get the tickets beforehand. So if you are interested in coming, you can't pay at the door.
And they ask that you register the entire group that you're going to be bringing.
That's your report? Yep. Thank you. Professional report.
Nothing this evening, Mayor.
Okay, administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. As Councilwoman Kent indicated, again, Passaic County is on site at Hirschfield Park for the replacement of the pedestrian bridge. It's my understanding that the bridge will be out of service to the community for approximately 6 months. We are working with them to ensure that the replacement bridge is in by summer camp next year. So definitely more to come on that, and we'll continue to provide updates to you. Additionally, the Willowfield Improvements Project continues to progress. The tree removals and stump grindings have been complete to date. The contractor is site grading as the weather permits, and Councilwoman Kent, Councilman Hinton, and the mayor and I have a meeting with the borough engineer this week just to go over the project timing and, the scope of work as an update. So we're looking forward to that. The Waterville and Albany Avenue Phase 1 improvements project is underway. The concrete and drainage work has been completed. The contractor has cleaned up all of the work zones and staging areas in and around the work, the project scope. The borough is currently evaluating the weather conditions for paving, and we do have a meeting later this week to talk about that. And we'll provide an update on that. The borough did receive a FY 2026 NJDOT Municipal Aid Grant in the amount of $386,000 for the Albany Avenue Phase 2 Improvements Project, which consists of Albany Avenue from Riverview Road to Arcadia Road and Edwards Avenue. So again, that project will likely take place in 2027. We have an existing NJDOT grant that we still have to satisfy for Lakeside Ave, and then we'll move, for Phase 2 of Albany. Just want to highlight that the flagpole at the Firemen's Monument at what's called the Cahill Square was damaged due to high winds. So the DPW is working on repairing that. Just want to let you all know in case the public sees that the flagpole is missing. The Chief Financial Officer and I are continuing our budget hearings with all of our department heads, boards, commissions, and committees. We've basically met with about everyone. We have a few to go. We are, again, compiling the budget for a January meeting with the Finance Committee. And also, we've received all of the capital requests from all of our departments, again, boards and commissions and committees, and we'll review those with the Finance Committee in the new year. And again, just want to thank the department heads and the borough staff for all of their hard work during the year and wish everyone a happy holidays. Thank you.
I just want to add, so in case this just came up today, the Army-Navy football game, they're doing a running of a football from, I think, somewhere in Bergen County all the way to Baltimore. They will be running it through Pompton Lakes tomorrow between 8:30 and 9:30. So if you see people in the street with a football and football uniforms running down the street, that's what it's all about. And they're going to work their way through Riverdale and through some other communities, so you happen to see that. Any questions for the administrator?
No.
Yes. I had a question continuing on the Schuyler Avenue Railroad crossing. The attorney was going to look into it a little
Yes,
further.
and I have had several discussions with the attorney for the railroad, who is trying to find those documents from the old settlement, the old order actually, from 1996. I spoke to him today just to make sure he was still going to be providing those, and he is. They are in archives. I think I had said that the last time. So as soon as I get them, he thought I would have them sometime next week, certainly before our next meeting. Not before the reorg meeting perhaps, but before our next meeting.
Okay. So, I mean, there is a chance that,
Yeah, we're gonna do a review
of
at
it.
it, and yeah.
because I can't see the borough paying that charge forever. The other question I had was, we're going to be discussing the borough attorney and other resumes from other borough attorneys. How many resumes did come in for borough attorney, Michael?
I'd have to defer you to my memo that I emailed. I believe 3, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that.
So we have 3 to choose from, or more than 3 came in,
It could be, I'd have to check.
and it got narrowed down to 3?
Correct.
And who narrows it down?
I would argue that that would be under contract negotiations, a closed session topic to discuss, so I don't know that it would be appropriate.
Yeah, we can't really talk about
Public.
that kind of stuff yet, because it's pretty close sessions.
Okay. We'll discuss that in closed session.
No, not today, but
No closed session today?
not about that, no.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, the other question I had is, are we doing ask about the booklet of policies and procedures manual for the borough?
You had a question about that? Or?
Yeah, are we doing a new one, or?
It was adopted at the November 12th council meeting, I believe, and was distributed and, is currently being distributed to borough staff.
Okay.
Right, so.
So it
was
is being
updated.
distributed now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I just want to remind the public, because I know Liz and Michael and myself are getting a lot of calls about the senior and vet housing they're building. They haven't opened that up officially yet to get in to register for that. As soon as we get the okay that that's opened, we will publicize that on our website and on social media, and there'll be forms you have to fill out. It does not go through the town here. We are not responsible for picking who gets in there. The county would be responsible for that. But I know we have put together a list, I think, Liz, and we're going to make sure those people kind of know that the form is at least out, and then it's on them to take care of that. So there are, restrictions on the income that you need to make to use that, and I don't have that in front of me. It's on the county website if you are interested in finding that out. But just so everybody understands, the town is not responsible for filling that. It will be the county. Any questions? Okay. Our acting chief, do you have any report?
So I'll be brief. I'm happy to report Officer Jason Eckers back to work as of Monday. So he's doing good. He's back out there. I'd also like to report, it was in the reports, but we just replaced all our AED defibrillators. So, most of those units, for people that don't know, if we go to medical calls and someone goes into CPR, these units could be a lifesaver to the residents of our town. So the ones that we had in service had previously been in service for about 20 years. So we just replaced them through the opioids grant that we received. So we replaced everything department-wide. I'd also like to thank all officers that participated in the holiday stroll with the setup and the cleanup. The DPW, we worked in coordination with them so that everything for that event went smoothly, which it did. I'd also like to highlight our e-bike safety town hall. It went off without a hitch. It's going to be posted to the borough website if it hasn't already been
I believe it is.
posted.
Channel 77.
In Channel 77, I'd like to thank a student, John Delgado, for filming that, coming in and editing the video for us. He did a fantastic job, and he deserves all the credit for coming out and helping us out for that. I'd also like to thank the officers that were involved. Lieutenant Kopacki put together that the PowerPoint. I think he did a great job, and then Lieutenant Kafati and Lieutenant Rufo for assisting and getting up there and putting the presentation together. So I hope everybody gets out there and at least gets to see it. And that's really my report.
So and thank you for reminding me. I forgot to mention that. I attended that, and I know Bobby was there. It was a very informative thing, and what I liked about it is it didn't take a side. It wasn't saying we're against e-biking. It's not saying we're for e-biking. It was just putting the facts out there for a lot of parents who don't know the facts. And I think it's worthwhile to anybody who has a child that rides any of these electric bikes or these e-bikes or these scooters, just to watch the presentation on Channel 77. You'll learn some information. You'll learn there are certain laws for certain ages and certain things. It's not an easy concept to understand because there's a lot of information. This age they have to wear a helmet. This age they can't go past 28 miles an hour. There's a lot going on, and it's tough for the police department to even oversee that because there's so many changing things. What they were really trying to do, and they all did a great job making the presentation, was educate the public on how to use these things. We understand moving forward, this is going to be part of our community, and it's going to be part of every community. So we're just trying to educate them because we did have a very serious accident with an e-scooter. The boy was airlifted in a helicopter for getting hurt very badly. So, this is something we're trying to stay ahead. So I thank you guys for putting that all together. I should also mention, because I forgot to mention that, we did have, for people who don't know, we had a police officer who arrived on scene at a fire. When he got on scene at fire as the first person there, he realized there was a woman still in the kitchen. Without thinking, and this is someone who is, worried about saving someone's life, he ran into the house, pulled them out of the house, probably saved her life. Doing that, he got injured. He inhaled a good amount of smoke. He went to the hospital while he was in Chilton. I know myself and the chief went down to visit him. He was doing okay. Things took a turn for the worse. They had to airlift him to a burn unit, and where they put him on a ventilator for a couple days. It's a serious thing. And this is the dedication that our police officers and fire department and our EMS do on a daily basis. So I'm glad to hear Jason's back. He's a tough guy, and I'm glad to hear he's back working. But, he did what you would hope someone would do if you're in that house on fire, run in and save you. So we have to all thank him for that.
I just have to expand upon that. It was Jason, and there was a number of other officers that also went into that building. Just unfortunately, due to the circumstances, Officer Eckers sustained the most injuries that day. It was a big effort by all involved, and they definitely did their jobs that day.
And I was on scene when the fire happened, and the fire department was there. It was that one windy day we had a couple weeks ago where the house looked like it was under control. The wind picked up when they opened the doors, and the thing just went up like a flame. It was just a big ball of flame. They moved everybody way back. So our fire department did a great job in fighting that, too. I mean, it was all, hands-on situation for all departments. So thank everybody for that. Any questions for the chief?
I do have one. You sent us an email regarding the enhanced enforcement detail?
Yes.
Okay, and I know Councilman Hinton asked, what is that? And don't we usually do that around, so it's just extra monitoring of the vehicles? And is there overtime, is really my question. Is there overtime involved in this?
So the officer that involved will be getting compensated through comp time. So it'll be 5 volunteers from the department in conjunction with the Detective Bureau. And basically, what we've done is we've identified trends with motor vehicle violations, suspended drivers. We're looking for people possibly warrant-related incidences. And this whole thing it's a focused enforcement to combat some of those things along with quality of life issues. For instance, we've gotten a lot of residents come in through the course of my time here that have been discussing a lot of traffic, let's say, related incidences on Colfax Ave and other natures and other places. So we will address those issues with this enforcement.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted a little clarification.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comments? Councilman Brennan, Councilman Higgins, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Please step up.
Mr. Sarah, let me be clear. This threat is not from Mr. Anthony Rodriguez, resident. It is from acting PLPD OIC Anthony Rodriguez, an employee of the town, based on things that have happened at a public meeting. So, nice try, but I repeat, you are all complicit.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Councilman Bennett and Councilman Quinn, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Thank you for your comments. He is not representing the town in any way, and if you'd like to, anything you'd like to add to that?
No.
No. Okay. It's not representing the town in any shape or form. He can use his title any way he wants. It's not representing the town. Okay. We have any privilege of the floor? Again, I'd just like to thank Councilwoman Polidori and Councilman Quinn for the job they've done in the year that you put in. Hopefully, we still see you guys involved and do what you got to do. That's what makes the community what it is. It's our volunteers, so I thank them for that. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd like to say something on privilege of the floor.
Yeah, sure.
Through the years, my volunteerism with the Shade Tree Commission planted so many trees. I brought this up with Councilwoman Kent, that the deer population is so big now, and so many trees that we pay $400 a tree for are getting destroyed. So Councilwoman Kent said she was going to send an email to DPW, and I guess she wasn't able to get to it. But I talked with the administrator, and he said he's going to work with DPW to protect these trees. It's only during the rut, which is really October 15th through the end of the year. And, you know, I was going to make a suggestion that even with the Shade Tree Commission, that we don't plant trees anymore. And I don't want to make that suggestion. But if we're going to plant trees, we have to protect them. And the volunteers at the Shade Tree Commission do a great job. But they don't have the time to do that. Need DPW to help us out. They have tree guards, but they have to monitor the trees. Some of these trees have been planted 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And the tree guards come off, the deer destroys them in a day. So it's an investment that the taxpayers are paying to make our town look beautiful. But if nobody's going to be keeping an eye on what's going on, now that I'm not with the Shade Tree, I still go around for the trees that I planted with the Shade Tree Commission, and I put the guards back on. Michael's been great trying to help us, but we got to get a coordinated effort. It's got to be work between DPW and Shade Tree Commission. When the trees are planted, Friday you're going to have a planting, you said?
And they all will have guards.
Yes, but the guards have to be monitored because the deer knock them off. Some of the guards that the other landscaper had put in were terrible.
We discussed this at the Shade Tree Commission meeting.
I wasn't at the meeting. I'm
Yeah,
not
it
a
was,
liaison.
I know, it was Monday we talked.
But I mean, this needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And we're just wasting tax dollars if we're going to be planting trees. And the deer population are going to destroy.
Yeah, and we'd have to get a forester to verify that the trees are dying and they're being killed and they're not coming back. You know, we'd have to have someone verify all that information. So that would be probably the first step in that. And then it would be a council vote on how we want to move forward with that. So we'll have to take it step by step. I think the first thing would be talk with the DPW, seeing what they can and can't do. and then talking to our forester to see what kind of damage is happening to these trees. Do these trees come back, or are they dying? And see what he has to say.
I don't really think you need the forester. When the tree has no bark, it's a dead tree.
Well, I don't.
When the
I
bark
need
is all at the ground, common sense will tell you this tree ain't gonna
common
make it.
sense, but I need a professional to tell
Spring,
me.
spring comes and there's no leaves and there's
Well,
a
that's the
stick
stuff we'll
breaking
talk
off.
about. Yeah, I agree with you though. If we can save, fix it, we can.
Then it just isn't gonna work, you know?
Okay.
And then on top of that, education, like I've talked to the chief. I went down to Laurel Avenue. I had a question on Laurel Avenue about the dumping of asphalt and concrete there. And I went to check it before I went to the lake today, and all cleaned up beautiful. All the equipment is gone, everything's taken care of. There was at least 20 loads of topsoil dumped at the radio station. I went to check that out, all cleaned up nice. Michael did a great job having the engineer and the contractor clean everything up. Everything's beautiful. I had talked to you about it on the holiday stroll, and you said the DEP approved us dumping.
It's part of our plan, so we write the plan of where we want to put stuff. We have to temporarily store stuff, because the cost to move it on a daily basis would be too expensive. It would add a quarter to the grant. That's taxpayer dollars. So, that's wasting taxpayer dollars because we don't like how it looks for a couple of days. So we have to find a place to store it. We picked the radio station, which is one of the better areas because there's no housing around it. When they're done with the whole project, then they remove it all out, take it out. That's the cheapest and most efficient way to do it, and that's how most towns do it, by the way.
So the DEP gave us written approval to do that?
We have our own, it's our own property. We can put stuff on there temporarily. It's not long-term, it's a couple days, and then we remove it, so that we can do that.
Well, talking about education with the chief, I had talked about the deer, and when I went down to the radio station to see if the soil was still there, like I said, it was all cleaned up nice. There was a woman feeding at least 20 deer.
That's not good.
Throwing corn in the cul-de-sac. And I told her, I says, listen, ma'am, I identified myself. I says, I don't need to know your name. I'm not taking your license plate number. But you're not doing the deer any favors, And I said, there's an ordinance against that. And if we could put more signage up, that would be a place to put it. But she was unaware of the ordinance not to feed deer. So this is what we have to do, to make the public aware.
And if I may comment, we did have the DPW go out and survey all of our parks for wildlife feeding ordinance signage. I'm told that the only park that they believe that doesn't have a sign would be Rotary Park, on Lakeside Ave.
On Lakeside.
And then, of course, we'd have to look at other locations like the South End Trails and whatnot. But in terms of our major parks, there is signage, but by the radio station, I don't think there's any signage. So
No.
we could look at that.
And that I totally agree with you. I mean, we're not helping the deer or anybody by feeding the deer in the off-season, so it's not a good thing, and it shouldn't happen.
It gets them through the winter, whereas the good Lord or the winter would take them out, and you're just,
Yep.
it's a big problem. So,
Anybody else?
I'd just like
Sure.
to clarify something. Being an environmental specialist, professional for 40-something years, I just want to warn Councilman Hinton that using the word dumping has its own legal meaning versus staging, and that's a different meaning. So if you stage material that you may be using in the future or may not, that is all approved, to my knowledge, always has been at least, in the project itself. Michael, tell me if I'm wrong, but that it's already approved. So if you dump something, that means that you're placing material in an area where it is not allowed, period. Or it's somehow or other deleterious to that area. To my knowledge, any of the projects that we have are not deleterious in their effects to that area, even if it was there for a day. If it's even there for 20 minutes, it could be deleterious. It is not. So I just ask you to watch your terminology when you say dumping or staging, because it makes a big difference to the town. It makes a big difference to the community as well.
I agree.
And maybe Dave can say something or not, but I just ask that we be careful.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't I don't know that there was any belief that there was hazardous material there, but you are correct. I mean, that is the staging of materials, and the mayor's correct that is common, the efficient and the economic way of addressing these things in the context of a large project where you have spoils or soils being removed.
Okay.
And I just want to thank Councilwoman Ken and the mayor. In my 12 months as a councilman, I'm still learning. So,
We all are.
so
We all are.
I changed my word to staging.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn into closed session?
Motion.
Councilman Cruz, Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Everyone have a nice holiday and a good new year, and we'll see you next year. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. You staying? You staying, right? Yeah.
Right? In closed session, we discussed personnel and negotiation. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Councilman Bennett, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Thanks, everybody. Nice meeting you. Look, man. Rob. I didn't think